It is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you, Andrew.
Welcome back to Toronto, because I understand you were here last year, right?
I come here like every 5 weeks. It's like my new home. But yes, I did an event here in Dish last year as well. But I come back to Toronto, if not every month, every 5 weeks, because I love Canada so much.
What do you think people need to think more about when they're hosting family or friends?
I think the most important thing is to kind of firstly set out what it is you're going to do. Are you going to do, is it like a casual party that you're doing? So then you could do like buffet style. Is it a sit down, kind of more formal affair that you're going to do? And then you figure out who you're going to invite, that's the next thing, and kind of how you're going to invite them. Kind of be a bit creative about how you're going to do that. Whether you write it on a card, take a photograph, and then just WhatsApp it to people or whatever way you communicate. And then is to get organised. Planning ahead takes all the stress out of any time of hosting.
Right.
So planning ahead, so making like an action list about what it is that you're going to do. And I usually try to do that about 2 weeks before any kind of, even if it's just a supper for 8 people, I try to get ahead.
That's cool.
And I'll write out the menu, because I like having, and it's kind of one of my signature things that I do, I like having the menus handwritten on everybody's place settings. So I'll write out the menu, and then I'll work from there by doing a whole planning list. I'll pop that on my fridge, so that for example, I'll be walking past the fridge and I'll be in my nightie and nothing to do on a Tuesday night, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well I can start doing my playlist.
Right.
Or I could maybe start getting my cocktail bar set up, because alcohol doesn't go off, so I usually like to do a cocktail bar set up so everybody can help themselves. And that's actually a really fun idea if you're having a Christmas party, is to do a self-serve cocktail setup,
right.
Even if we're going to do Guinness with Prosecco, or any kind of setup like that, to have it all done, then to have it written out in a recipe card with glasses, and then people help themselves is kind of a fun thing to do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So do you think there's something people are doing wrong when they're hosting that maybe they need to think about too? Is there something that's a good tip?
I think the most important thing to do is to do as many make-aheads as possible.
Right.
I mean, my go-to when I'm having suppers, as opposed to having a party, I always do the starter, and the dessert is always make-ahead.
Right.
It'll be to be done the day before. And I also get all my tables done the day before, because I love doing the tablescape.
Right.
I love doing all that, having those beautiful flowers, as you can see here today. We're getting everything set up. So that's really important. I think getting all that stuff done ahead, so it takes out the stress out of it. Because if you're stressed, and you being the host, if you're stressed when everybody arrives,
Right.
it doesn't create the right kickoff for the
And then
night.
you're not really having fun.
And everybody feels that.
Right.
I mean, the most important thing to your guests is that they feel really welcomed and you're relaxed. And if the host is relaxed, then the guests will be relaxed.
Right.
But the guests will never be relaxed if the host is stressed.
Right.
So if you feel stressed about it, cut out everything and just do one big pot.
Right.
And do some ice cream and put some hot coffee over it with a little zest of orange, and you've got an affogato.
That's cool.
The more important thing is to love the evening and enjoy it.
That's amazing. Well, in terms of cooking with Guinness, I don't think enough people think about it. I mean, I've cooked with it for stew especially, and it's fantastic. But what are your recommendations, and what's your inspiration?
I mean, I'm a Guinness girl. I've grown up, it's my drink. My grandpa had a Guinness pub in Cork in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah, he did. So it's really in my blood, genuinely. So I love cooking with Guinness. And so we did this collaboration together to come up with a beautiful Christmas menu. So it was like me being in my dream world.
Right.
So I got to spend time, I was in our studio in London, where we do all of our recipe collaborations and everything like that, and where I kind of started experimenting with different recipes, and we shot all the recipes there. And so my favourite dishes that I came up with that we're going to be sharing with you guys are, it's a Guinness Tempura prawns.
Wow.
So the Guinness adds gorgeous kind of a depth of richness of flavour in the tempura and the batter. And also it's quite frothy, so it gives that lovely lightness to it too. And then that's served with an aioli. And then to switch up the gravy this year for Christmas, I've added in Chester's puree and also Guinness, and that brings a gorgeous caramel coffee flavour to it.
Wow.
And the hero dish, which I think, but I'd love to know what you think after you taste it this evening, is my Guinness maple and ginger steamed pudding, which is absolutely insane. And it's so light and fluffy, because a lot of people think Guinness is heavy, but it's actually
Right.
not. In cooking, it brings a lovely lightness because of the yeast in it. It brings a bubbliness
Right.
into it. And then the depth of flavors of the caramel and coffee, it's so good. So out of all those dishes, if you're going to try anything, you have to try the pudding.
Well, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.